What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Purple and Gold podcast. Today, we are with Jason, Sanders, fan, Nathan. He's back on the channel. Today, we are doing a video highlighting the Miami Dolphins. So, like we did the last time with the Chargers with Micah, we're going to first go over the schedule, and then Nathan is just going to talk Dolphins with us for a little bit. So, you can see already that I've already done the full season prediction, and I have the Dolphins going 9-8. Now we're gonna go over each one of those games, and Nathan's gonna give his input on each one of those games too. So he's gonna have a final record prediction as well. But they do have a winning record for me. And I talked about this with Mike and the Chargers. Like the AFC is just so competitive that there's going to be a lot of good teams that are going to miss out this year. And I think the Dolphins are one of those teams. They are ranked 10th in the conference at 9-8. So a winning record might not necessarily get it done for all these teams in the AFC this year, but we're going to go over game by game. And in week one, I actually have you guys beating the New England Patriots because for whatever reason, the Patriots can't win in Miami. So you guys, strong start. I got you at 1-0.
Yeah, well, first of all, if history shows anything, Braden's right. A winning record does not mean we're getting into the playoffs. Like the last 2 years, it's brutal. But actually, for this first game against the Patriots, I think the Patriots would win. The thing is, it's a first-year head coach, and then you have like all these new weapons and whatever, and like it's your first time all playing together, and then you're going against a Bill Belichick defense. I don't think that's like the best. And the Dolphins did beat the Patriots like 2 times last year, and like I doubt that's going to happen again. So I would say I would give this one to the Patriots if I was like betting on it. So, but it could go either way with these two teams.
Betting against your own team. Alrighty. So, I mean, I think that's a good point that you brought up that I think I should have brought up at the start when I was talking about the record because yeah, I think people underestimate like when a new head coach does come in, despite how talented the team might be. Now, sometimes the talent will bail out the new system, and guys are just not used to it. I don't want to talk about the Chargers too much. This is the last time I'll talk about them. But last year they were a great example of that, where they had to transition to a 3-4 defense, and Brandon Staley was a great defensive coordinator for the Rams, and their defense was one of the worst in the league last year. So that is an example of a coaching and a scheme thing that needs to just settle in a little bit. But it can go either way. You can use it to the advantage where other teams don't really know what you're doing yet, and you can use that to your advantage. So we'll see which way it goes for the Dolphins this year because there's no question that the team is extremely talented. Now, week two, you guys are playing at Baltimore. Look, Baltimore is one of the most talented rosters in the league. They were the 1 seed at one point. I believe it was week 11, week 12 last year. Then Lamar got hurt, and they had a ton of preseason injuries last year too. So I think this is a team that is going to come back really strong.
So you have the Ravens winning.
I do have the Ravens winning this game.
Yeah, I mean, I love Lamar so much for some reason, and I really like the Ravens too. Um, looking ahead at this, the Dolphins could very reasonably go 0-4, even 0-5. But I think the Dolphins are talented enough to beat like coming up Ravens, Bills, Bengals. I think they could beat like one or two of them, and just for the sake of like I don't think we'll lose all four. I'll just say the Dolphins for this one.
Alrighty.
Like, but you know what I'm saying, right? It's like yeah, these teams on paper are probably better, but like better teams don't always win, and I think like I'm confident we can get at least one of these.
Okay. No, I hear you on that. And you know what? It is a 50-50 chance right now at the start of the season when nothing really happens. So you can say whatever you want. Uh, week three. So I have you guys losing this game as well. I mean, the way that Buffalo looks, and Buffalo is my favorite to win the entire thing this year. Their roster on paper is one of the best, and they've proven that they're one of the best teams on the field as well. Uh, and they absolutely destroyed you guys last year 2 times. So I don't know. I don't think the Bills took a step down in any way.
Yeah, the Bills own us, dude. They do. I've been watching seriously for like the last 2 years, and all those years, freaking, I hate the Bills.
It's Josh
But
Allen, man.
it is Josh Allen. But in the playoffs, I do cheer for the Bills just because, if anyone's gonna destroy the Dolphins, it should be the Super Bowl champions. But yeah, I do think the Bills will win. Just because they're the Bills, and just do you really have to say much more? Like, the
I
Bills
mean,
will win.
yeah, seriously, the team is just so good. They're doing everything the right way right now. Um,
Yeah,
but the Dolphins,
it
I
probably
think, they'll keep the games closer. I think this year, if they don't win, they'll keep it close at least because the team did get much better. Week
yeah.
four. Oh, what were you gonna say?
Oh no, just the first because the first time we played the Bills last year, Tua got hurt, and yeah,
Right, right.
so hopefully that doesn't happen
Yeah,
again.
see, okay, that's a huge thing for me too. Now, I'm not projecting any injuries, but
Could happen.
if we're going with the trends, right, Tua
Yeah,
hasn't been able to stay healthy. He hasn't played a full season. Um, so, that affected the way that I had their record looking when it's all said and done. Now, week four, you guys are going to be playing a Thursday night football game against Cincinnati in Cincinnati. I actually have you guys winning this game, so you guys are 2-2. Now, I know a lot of people will look at this and say, well, the Bengals were the representatives for the AFC in the Super Bowl, but I think you have to remember that this team wasn't really consistent in the regular season. They won enough games to make it in there, and they got hot at the right time. So, Bengals super talented, but I mean, I see the same thing happening again. I mean, it's just
yeah,
the team is good enough to win those close games, but they're not going to completely dominate in the regular season. So,
yeah. That does make a lot of sense. The Bengals lost against Mike White. Remember that? Like,
yeah, that's crazy.
yeah. You know, the Dolphins. I think the Dolphins match up well with the Bengals realistically because
Hmm.
Xavier Howard is a really good ball hawk and whatever, and I think he could like do a good job against Jamar Chase. The offensive, well, actually I don't know. The pass rush at the Bengals is not like insane. Um, they did have a really good run defense in that Super Bowl, and if McDaniel's whole scheme is like run the ball, I could see that running into some real problems here. But um, I I think the Dolphins could get this one. I'm gonna predict that they do. So just because why not? Because and the way my schedule is going, every single time an away team wins right now. Spoiler alert, they're gonna win again because they play the Jets.
Yeah, yeah, I have you guys beating the Jets as well. The Jets are definitely trending in the right direction, in my opinion. I think they're doing the right things in the draft. I think they're bringing the right players in free agency. Um, but the team is just too young right now. And, we've seen guys, specifically quarterbacks in their second year, after having a rough rookie year, take that step up. I could definitely see that from Zach Wilson. I really like Zach Wilson coming out of BYU, but like I said, the team I think is just still too young. I think this Dolphins team is too talented, so I think you guys beat the Jets here. I don't see the Jets, being that great before the season starts.
I love Sauce Gardner and stuff, but is he really gonna shut down Tyreek Hill, especially as early as week 5?
Yeah,
You
I
know,
mean
like
that's going to be a tough one. I mean, if you know how to utilize your speed like Tyreek does, I mean, it can certainly be a weapon. So,
yeah, not
but
just the Dolphins are just they're just better right now.
no, definitely on paper, the Dolphins are the better team. It's just gonna come down to which quarterback can, take it to the next level, which we're expecting from both of these quarterbacks this year, the MILF Slayer and Tua Tagovailoa. Okay, now we have an interesting one here in Week 6. Uh, the Vikings versus the Dolphins. My team versus your team. Okay, I swear that I didn't do this for the sake of being unbiased, or also because we're doing this video. But I actually have you guys beating us. This is a game down in Miami. So for a team that's accustomed to playing in a dome, in a colder environment, we're gonna go down to hot Miami, and I mean, our cornerback situation is looking better than it did last year, but I don't know if we're going to be able to keep up with Waddle and Hill. So I think that this Miami offense might run away with it.
Well, this whole I don't know if they're going to be able to keep up with Waddle and Hill. Is Tua going to be able to keep up with Waddle and Hill? We don't know that
You tell
yet.
me. You tell me.
Yes, he will. But I would say I really like the Vikings. I tell Braden this all the time. Like sometimes I'm watching a Vikings game, like the Vikings Packers game last year where Justin Jefferson went off. I was like watching it and it was like really close. And in the back of my head, I'm like, I really hope the Vikings win because Braden's just gonna like be so sad if they lose. Because
Yeah, and especially against Green Bay, absolutely not. I hate Green Bay with a burning passion.
and I know like this is kind of like for other people, this is kind of the trend every year, but like the Vikings are like one of my sleeper teams. They're so talented. I think the Dolphins could win. I think this is a 50-50, but since Braden chose the Dolphins, I'll just say the Vikings, and so, we don't look stupid if whatever happened. Yeah, because this really could go either way. I think these are like pretty. I mean, I think the Vikings are better on paper, but it's still relatively matched up. So I'm gonna say
Yeah,
Vikings.
that's one of those things in my team, and for us as well. We have a first year head coach as well, so I don't think this is going to be smooth sailing as well. Even though he came from the Super Bowl champion Rams as the offensive coordinator, but like I said, my team for as long as I've been watching has always been good on paper, and we can't always put it together. So I mean, I think it's going to be a bumpy road, like I said, but yeah, the offensive weapons for the Dolphins, really exciting to see this year. Next, week 7, you guys are going to be at home against the Pittsburgh Steelers. Now, the Steelers, okay, regardless of whether they have Trubisky, Rudolph, or Pickett starting at quarterback, you got Mike Tomlin at head coach, who's always managed to put together a great season, regardless of the level of quarterback play that he has. Um, and this defense is still really good. I know their run defense struggled last year, but you still have guys like Cam Hayward and T.J. Watt on the line. That's what makes the defense what it is for the Steelers. So I have them winning this game. I think the Steelers are another one of those teams that are going to have an up and down season, but they're going to win a few games here and there. So I think it's one of them here.
I really don't see how the Steelers are that much. Granted, I don't pay that much attention to the Steelers, but I don't see how they're that much different from last year's team.
Mm,
Like, but I'm gonna say the Dolphins win this because if I know their run defense was like pretty bad, and I don't think it got considerably better. And if anyone can take advantage of that, well, I believe that McDaniel can. And it's at home, and 6 away games in a row I chose here, so I'm gonna say the Dolphins win.
alrighty. Next, we got week 8 against the Detroit Lions. Now, Detroit, I think just like the New York Jets, they're a team that's definitely trending in the right direction in terms of what the roster looks like, in terms of flipping the culture into something more positive. But again, team is still too young, too inexperienced. I have the Dolphins winning this one.
Detroit could win this one. It At this point in the year, it really depends how the styles of McDaniel and like Hill and all that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, we
Like
will
how it's
definitely know by week 8. Yeah.
but I'm confident enough in the talent here to say the Dolphins win.
Okay. And I think the same thing goes for week 9 here. I think Chicago is one of the worst rosters in all of football right now. It's only going to get worse once Roquan Smith leaves. So,
Yeah, I think the Lions are better than the Bears. I'll say that at this point. So yeah, Dolphins win that one because I don't have the heart to pick against that. But like all of these wins that seem like a gimme, like anything could happen.
mhm.
So it could like I wouldn't be surprised if one of these Lion and Bears games like we lost, because it just depends how it goes that week. But just for the sake of like on paper, yeah, in this case, I'm gonna say the Dolphins win.
Okay. Now, if you're seeing this on my screen, right, I do have the Cleveland Browns, okay, winning this game against the Miami Dolphins. Now, the Cleveland Browns at this point are a huge question mark because, for one, we don't know how long Deshaun Watson is going to be suspended. And the second one is if he does play, we don't know if he's going to return at the same level he was, which I can't imagine. I mean, he's been gone from football for 2 years now. So I do have the Cleveland Browns winning this game. But like I said, Cleveland is just a huge toss up when it just comes to predicting the season right now. A lot of things can change by week 10. But you know what? Let's just say Jacoby Brissett is playing. his revenge game right here. So yeah, I'm gonna have. And look, even if Brissett is playing, okay, upsets do happen. So I am predicting some upsets to happen here and there. No one's predicting everything to be perfect based on what a team looks like on paper. So to justify my pick, I have Cleveland winning this one.
I think there's a very real argument that the Browns are better on paper even without Watson.
Oh yeah, I mean if we're matching this up position by position, I mean yeah, definitely it's gonna weigh a lot less. So
Yeah, I'd have to say the Browns here too. Like, you know, like our run defense isn't like that good, and then there's Miles Garrett, and our offensive line is better, and there's Armstead and whatever. But you know, I don't know. I'm gonna give them the Browns
okay.
just cause. But I swear, if it's Brissett and Brissett beats us, that's gonna break my heart a little because I wasn't Brissett's biggest fan. I don't know if you remember, but
No, I remember Jacoby beef brisket. Yes.
yeah,
Okay.
Brissett.
Week 12, you guys are going to be playing against the Houston Texans. The Texans, they have pieces here and there, but there are definitely a lot of holes on that roster, so I have you guys winning this one.
Yeah, I don't think much has to be said for this one.
Okay, week 13. This is the Mike McDaniels returning to San Francisco game, but I think the mentor gets the better of him. Kyle Shanahan's a great coach, and yeah, I mean, I don't know how many, I mean, despite him not having a Super Bowl ring, I mean, Belichick's been able to win games with him, and so has Shanahan. Maybe that's a credit to Jimmy Garoppolo, but Jimmy Garoppolo's not that great, and I think he's put together really good schemes since he's been there in San Francisco. So
Yeah, if Trey Lance pans out, like who knows what that offense could look like? Like that would be scary.
definitely, I mean, yeah, he's definitely way more talented than Jimmy G is.
Yeah,
Okay, we are here now in week 14, and you guys are playing the LA Chargers. Chargers, man, this is one of the most talented teams in the league, and I think at this point we know what they have in quarterback. I mean, this is definitely a guy who's going to put up some numbers, so I'm going to give it to the Chargers here.
yeah. As of recently, the Chargers have become my like second favorite team. So, because of Justin Herbert. Now, Justin Herbert could have been on the Dolphins, but that's for another day. Yeah, the Chargers will probably win this. I think they're really good. I think they're like one of my top four teams. I think I could see them going to the AFC Championship. Blah blah
hmm
blah. I don't think the Dolphins don't have the firepower, even with the weapons, to keep up with Herbert, in my opinion. So I'll give it to the Chargers.
Alrighty, week 15, you guys are playing a Saturday game against the Bills. Unfortunately, I have you guys getting swept yet again.
Yeah, I'm gonna go the other way. I know I just went on that little thing about how the Bills own us, but it's different this year. I think by week 15, I'm crossing my fingers that we'll kind of have like figured things out. It is a divisional game, so anything could happen. And, you know, I just think that we can beat the Bills on a given, well, Saturday in this case. I think it could happen. So I'm gonna go with the Dolphins.
Alrighty. Hey, and you know what? I have an upset coming up this week here in week 16, you guys beating the Green Bay Packers. Look, maybe it's because I just don't like the Green Bay Packers. I don't care, okay? I have the Packers as the 1 seed in the NFC anyway. So, it's late in the season. And again, this is just like Minnesota. A team that's accustomed to playing in really cold weather at this time of the year is going to get a huge weather change down in Miami. So,
Yeah, I don't know. I think the defense might be just too good. I
yeah, maybe, honestly.
I do like the Packers. I can't really see, like, it's not a divisional game like the Bill. I think the Bills might be a better team, but you know, just I don't know what I'm saying. Screw the Packers win.
Alrighty, and then week 17, I have you guys splitting the season series against the New England Patriots. I think they take that one in Foxborough.
Yeah, same thing. I mean, I had the Patriots winning back there, so I'm gonna say the Dolphins here.
Okay, and then our final game, another Saturday game. I have you guys sweeping the Jets. So that concludes my season for them. finishing at 9-8, just missing the playoffs, sorta.
So I've been saying like I've had every single division splitting, and realistically, I do think the Jets like are good enough to get one, especially on us. But I'm sitting here at 9-7 right now, and I don't care. So I want the Dolphins to have 10 wins, so I'm choosing the Dolphins.
Okay, actually,
What
okay,
what I'm saying is that the Jets could win. I would not be surprised at all if the Jets win at least one. But I think the Dolphins could also sweep. It could go either way.
definitely. Okay, that's interesting. So I'm sure on your end, you definitely can't see seeding and where you're ranked because you didn't do the full schedule. But our schedules are very close in terms of what the end result is. We're just one game off from each other, so I think there is a good chance that we could see the Dolphins in the playoffs this year. Just but we really have to keep a close eye on all the other teams in the AFC because it is a damn good conference, and this is one of the most competitive conferences I think we've seen in a long time. I mean, you're always going to have the teams that are going to absolutely dominate, like the Chiefs and the Bills in recent memory. But there are a lot of teams who are making a case to, get their name uh, in the pool this year for the playoffs. So now, what I wanted to do was finish off this video with having Nathan bring up any topics he wants to related to the Miami Dolphins for this upcoming season. So, what do you want to start with, man?
Well, I had one, but I will say I think the Dolphins have a good chance to sneak in as the 7th seed. Like,
Hmm.
yeah, I didn't do any like huge record predictions, although that does sound like fun. Maybe I will do that. But um, with how like competitive the conferences are, and like how much of a like bloodbath the what is it West is going to be,
Hmm.
and I think I think like they're going to be beating up on each other so much. I think the Dolphins could just like sneak in there.
Definitely. So,
Yeah.
okay, I mean, I'm gonna take a guess that the Bills are winning the conference or the division for you, which is why you're settling for the seventh seed at this point.
Yeah. Any week the Bills aren't when the Bills play the Dolphins, I hate them, but Josh Allen is so good. Any week they're not, I'm like, man, like he's so like cool, like the
Mm,
things he does. It's like I do like the Bills, like when it's not in relation to the Dolphins.
I see.
When they do play the Dolphins, Josh Allen can go to hell. Um, okay, but the other thing is that we got to talk about this tampering bullshit. All right, listen.
Stephen
So
Ross, baby.
So this idiot Stephen Ross, it's like what I heard on this like podcast I listened to. It's so hard to win a Super Bowl and to like create a functioning team when your owner is a fucking idiot. And
Yeah,
Stephen Ross, dude, like like I couldn't even like bring myself to read the whole story because like I just don't like to read and like I knew how it kind of went. Stephen Ross like tricked Brian Flores to get onto the boat where Brady was, something like that, and that was like the tampering in it. And like how stupid is that? Like, this is a billion-dollar organization that you're working for, and like you're doing stuff that's stupid. Like what? Like what? And so he's gone the whole year, and it's like whatever. But like now we lost our first round pick, which is it fair? I mean, yeah, but it it's so sad. And I was like really excited for this upcoming draft because we were gonna have 2 first round picks.
hmm.
It's a good quarterback class, at least from what I've heard.
Are
But
you
and
implying that you want them to replace Tua?
no, so if Tua works out, great. But if
Oh,
he
I see.
doesn't, then we have the draft ammunition to maybe try and trade up. But now we don't anymore. So I mean, no hate to my guy, but Tua, like, you better be good because I really don't know what happens if Tua's not good in
Yeah,
this coming season. And again, they could have had Justin Herbert, and I could have had my college or like a college alumni on my favorite team. Like that would have been so. Oh man, that would have been so beautiful. But no, Herbert is on the Chargers, and Herbert's another one where it's like he's so even before I committed to Oregon, he's so cool that like I love Herbert.
You know, unrelated to football at all, man. But the one thing I like about Justin Herbert is his hair, man. That's
Yeah, he's got some
that's some luscious hair, man. That's like, that. I mean, I don't think it would match me, but he got nice hair. But
match.
yeah, but okay. Now the one question that I actually want to bring up to you, because since Brian Flores was there, I feel like their defense has gotten a lot better. Now they haven't necessarily had the greatest players on defense either. I mean, you've had some pretty average players, and they made a lot out of it. I mean, it was a very blitz heavy team. So now that Brian Flores is gone, do you think that the Dolphins will be able to maintain that relatively good defense that they've had for the past few years, or do you think it's going to take like a dip because you have an offensive minded head coach now?
We do still have like the same defensive coordinator, and like a lot of our defensive staff isn't really that different.
Hmm.
But I think it won't be as good as when Flores was there.
I see.
Because he was a mastermind, and like I think Flores. I don't know why he got. I mean, I do know why he got fired, but he shouldn't have gotten fired. But you know, I do think that they can kind of maintain it because those like the coordinators kind of know the system or the one coordinator. If you ask me his name, I but
Oh my gosh.
it's the same guy, and if you gave me the name, I would recognize it. But I'm blanking right now. But I do think that they can kind of maintain it without him. But I don't think it'll be as good. Like last year, we won that Ravens game like solely because of that
Yeah.
defense.
Yes.
But it was yeah. I was at work when I was watching that game. Like and then like there's like this bar connected to the restaurant and they always play like the big games and whatever. So I'd be like serving my stuff and then just be like looking and I'm like, oh my gosh, oh Tua Tua came in. Oh, what a huge play. Oh, Rashid, oh my gosh, we won. But yeah. Uh yeah. I think the bigger question is more of the offense with the team. Because I think the defense is kind of what it is at this point. But it won't be but there is still questions about it for sure. This whole team has questions.
Definitely. Um, actually, what I think was now, aside from the fact that you guys got Tyreek Hill this offseason, but I think one of the most important moves that you guys made this offseason was getting Teddy Bridgewater as your backup quarterback. Because, I mean, I think some people would argue that he could definitely compete for the starting job. But when we're looking in terms of the future, Teddy's not the future. It's definitely
Yeah.
Tua. But like we talked about before, Tua does have a history with getting injured, and this is why teams are so hesitant to take injured players during the draft. Like Tua is a great example of that. But if there is a chance that he goes down, I think you can still be equally as competitive with Teddy Bridgewater. Um, Obviously, being a Vikings fan, I've seen Teddy Bridgewater quite a bit, and he's not going to elevate your team, but I think he's good enough to get you some wins here and there. So it's going to be good to have that stability at quarterback, to have a guy in there that at least can win some games for you.
Yeah. He probably could make the argument for being better than Tua, but you know what he is at this point, He's kind of just he's not going to get better, Teddy.
Yeah,
Tua
he's
might.
not. He's not. He's pretty much taken on that Tyrod Taylor role pretty much as a bridge
Yeah.
quarterback.
Yeah. But you're right. If Tua does go down, I really don't see how unless Tua like looks different, I really don't see how Teddy is that much different from the Tua we know.
Right. Definitely. Yes. Yes.
So it wouldn't be the worst. I mean, it would be terrible, but like there would be a solid backup who can definitely maintain the offense. How Teddy would work with Tyreek, I mean, it's the same question as with Tua and Waddle,
Hmm.
but you just don't know.
Okay. The last thing that I want to go over before we end this video, and Micah brought this up in our previous video, so I want to hear your opinion on this one. Uh, he said that Joshua Palmer was a sleeper for his team this year. So who do you think is someone on the Dolphins who doesn't really have a name for themselves yet, hasn't really proven much, but you think could have a big breakout season?
Do I know how to? Okay, I don't know exactly how to pronounce it. It's Eric Zukanama. Is that how you say it? You know who I'm talking about?
No, I'm not sure who that is. So that's a great pick because if this guy has a breakout season, I would be like, wow, I did not know who that was.
He's a wide receiver out of Texas Tech. He was a fourth round pick.
Okay.
Um,
So is he a rookie?
He's a rookie. He's kind of a yak guy.
I
He
see.
yards after catch, and with Waddle and Hill, hopefully being like the big explosive guys, they're not gonna have them run a bunch of drags like Waddle did last year. This I'm just gonna call him Eric because I'm gonna look like an idiot if I
Eric Ezukanwa.
yeah.
Eric Ezukanwa.
Yeah. Anyway, Eric, if Waddle and Hill are doing these explosive things, and the wide receiver 3, there's Cedric Wilson, but there is like competition for it. He could be like kind of the shorter routes, and he could like help move the offense to a really can't. All these guys actually, all 3 of those guys, like they're so fast and explosive, and this guy's a yak guy. They could kind of like help move the offense if Tua can't really push it down the field. And so I don't think this guy's gonna be like rookie of the year or anything, and you probably won't hear from him from like week 1. But well, everyone does have a good camp, but I'm hearing that he's having a good camp, and I think this guy could be like a really valuable part of the offense, and he could have himself like a good little career.
I see. Okay, that is a good pick. That's exactly what I was looking for. Actually, I know I said that was going to be the last thing, but that actually wants me to break off and branch off into something else. Because you think that he could potentially be a breakout guy. I know that there's been a little bit of you know what is the word? Let's just say Preston Williams is not very happy with how many reps he's getting in practice. So I've heard. So what do you think Preston Williams' like role is going to be in this offense?
I don't care. I mean,
Is that how Dolphins fans feel about Preston Williams? We don't care.
in my is he real? No.
I don't think he's that great either, but
He's
he was
not.
a starter last year, so
He was, but there's also like I think Cedric Wilson is better than him, right? So
I see. Yeah, Cedric Wilson as well. Yeah.
I mean, I've thrown touchdowns to him in Madden before, but I have no emotional connection to him whatsoever. Like,
Yeah.
maybe he gets cut. Honestly, like, he could.
He could honestly, yeah. You see, I feel like in some cases when a player looks like a bum, they're just not gonna work out. Like Preston Williams is an example of that, which is why I'm bringing it up because like the dude I think is the only wide receiver in the league that wears long sleeved jersey, like a long sleeved jersey. Okay, that does not look good on a wide receiver. Also, there's a guy named Troy down on the Vikings who has literally no drip at all, has nothing on his arms. He doesn't even wear gloves, so he really just looks like a long snapper out there playing linebacker. I've lost faith in Troy at this point because he just looks like a bum. So Preston Williams is one of those guys for me. But that's how we're gonna end off today's video. I'm actually really enjoying making these legit. Oh yeah.
Mason Sanders. All right, I know he had a bad year, but it's my name brand, so he'll be better. Okay, he'll be all pro again.
Alrighty, Jason Sanders for All Pro. I'm gonna try and get more of these videos out before the season starts. I only have so many friends, so we're only gonna have so many of these videos. But yeah, it's the Purple and Gold podcast. This is the Miami Dolphins schedule prediction and season preview. And you want to say anything before we close out?
Oh, Dolphins will be in the playoffs. If Tua breaks out, everyone will be sorry, including you, Brandon.
All right, see you guys later. Peace.